Processed foods are loaded with artificial additives, preservatives, and chemicals that can disrupt your endocrine system. Many of these chemicals are xenoestrogens, meaning they mimic estrogen in your body and can contribute to estrogen dominance. Third, processed foods are usually high in unhealthy fats, particularly trans fats and excessive omega-6 fatty acids, which promote inflammation. They're also typically low in nutrients and fibre, which means they don't support your body's natural detoxification and hormone elimination processes. Studies have shown that diets high in processed foods are associated with higher rates of fibroids and more severe symptoms. On the other hand, diets rich in whole, unprocessed foods are associated with better hormone balance and reduced inflammation. The solution is to focus on eating real, whole foods as much as possible. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store where the fresh produce, meat and whole foods are located. Cook at home more often so you know exactly what's going into your meals. And when you do buy packaged foods, read labels carefully and choose options with short ingredient lists made up of real foods. Section 9. Foods high in saturated fats. We need to discuss saturated fats, which are found in fatty cuts of meat, full-fat dairy, butter, coconut oil, palm oil, and many fried and processed foods. While some saturated fat is okay in moderation, excessive amounts can be problematic for fibroids. High saturated fat intake has been linked to increased inflammation and altered hormone metabolism. Saturated fats can affect how your body produces and processes estrogen. They can also contribute to insulin resistance, which, as we discussed earlier, is associated with higher estrogen levels and increased fibroid growth. Research has shown that women who consume diets high in saturated fats have a higher risk of developing fibroids. One study found that women in the highest quartile of saturated fat intake had a significantly higher risk of fibroids compared to women who consumed less saturated fat. It's important to note that not all fats are bad. In fact, healthy fats are essential for hormone production and overall health. The key is to focus on unsaturated fats from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon and sardines. These healthy fats are anti-inflammatory and support hormone balance. Reduce your intake of saturated fats by choosing lean proteins, using olive oil instead of butter for cooking, limiting full-fat dairy, and avoiding fried foods. When you do consume saturated fats, do so in moderation and balance them with plenty of healthy fats and fibre-rich foods. Section 10. Practical tips and conclusion. Now that we've covered all the foods that can worsen fibroids, let's talk about what you can do about it. I know this might seem overwhelming, especially if many of these foods are regular parts of your diet. But here's the good news. You don't have to make all these changes overnight. Start by choosing one or two categories to focus on first. Maybe you start by eliminating processed foods and refined sugar, or perhaps you cut out red meat and alcohol. Make gradual changes that feel sustainable for you. As you start feeling better, you'll be motivated to make more changes. Focus on what you can eat rather than what you can't. Fill your plate with colourful vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, wild-caught fish and healthy fats. These foods are anti-inflammatory, fibre-rich and support hormone balance. Drink plenty of water to support detoxification. Consider working with a nutritionist or healthcare provider who specialises in women's health. They can help you create a personalised eating plan that addresses your specific needs and symptoms. Keep a food and symptom journal. Write down what you eat and how you feel each day. This can help you identify which foods trigger your symptoms and which ones make you feel better. Everyone's body is different, so pay attention to your individual responses. Remember, managing fibroids naturally through diet takes time. You might not see results immediately, but many women report significant improvements in their symptoms.